In the farthest corner of the galaxy, beyond the nebulas that flickered like ghostly fireworks, lay the edge of the Galactic Empire, a realm as vast as it was controlled. It was a tightly knit system, operating like the delicate gears of an intricate watch, but with a fervent obsession with control. For generations they'd held every known species under their authoritarian grip, their imperial motto stark and unwavering. Order above all. And then they met the humans. The Empire had heard rumors about the species 329, an eccentric group calling themselves humans. The humans had only recently developed faster-than-light travel, very rudimentary by the Empire's standards, and had just begun poking around beyond their small corner of the Milky Way. The Empire's spies were dismissive at first. Humanity seemed nothing more than a species of reckless thrill-seekers who preferred their missions to be as chaotic as possible. The Empire, with its structured hierarchy and strict discipline, could not have been more unlike. But they knew one thing for sure: chaos was something to be contained. Look at their history logs, sneered the Empire's chief historian, Garrix 57, on a call with his colleagues. They go from one conflict to another. Wars. Skirmishes. Alliances that dissolve after a few centuries, sometimes within years. And don't even start with their attempts at diplomacy. They once had a Cold War, a war that wasn't even cold. Everyone laughed, not realizing that one human had heard everything. MAD wasn't just an acronym for maximum aggression deployment. It was a state of mind. For humanity's best scientists and engineers, MAD wasn't just a weapon, it was the dream. It was something they'd developed. Just in case. The moment they felt the Empire breathing down their necks, trying to dismantle their freewheeling ways. But it was also a problem. Because, well, MAD hadn't been activated in centuries. MAD wasn't just any weapon. It wasn't a single person, machine, or even an AI. It was a concept that humanity had collectively agreed to try only in the most dire situations. The Galactic Empire would soon learn that most dire situations were subject to interpretation. Should we activate MAD? Asked Dr. Harper, her voice barely a whisper, as she read the intercepted transmission from the Empire. It was filled with condescending notes about humanity's inferiority, and even mentioned certain members of humanity in ways that bordered on offensive. General Thompson took a deep breath, puffed out his chest, and solemnly said, "It's time to show them that humans aren't just good at conflict. We're artistes of chaos." The Empire had its fleet, its bureaucracy, and its shiny, order-perfecting protocols. But it lacked one thing that humanity possessed in abundance: a reckless, insatiable drive to push limits, often just to see what would happen. And this was particularly dangerous when they didn't understand exactly what they were dealing with. The first sign that MAD was awake came as a surprise message, broadcasted galaxy-wide, from what appeared to be a human AI network. "Dear Galactic Empire! Guess who's up? We just wanted to let you know we'll be doing a galactic road trip, and if we accidentally trample your pretty little empire, please file complaints in triplicate with your nearest intergalactic complaint office. Response time, between 1 month and forever." The Empire's Imperial Command, led by Commander Zorg, was not amused. He frowned, his tentacles twitching. "Is this a joke? The humans think they can toy with the Galactic Empire?" But Zorg had a lot to learn about humanity's definition of toy. The activation of MAD wasn't an explosive launch or a missile blast. No, the first phase was subtle. It was humanity's most dangerous weapon, memes. The humans sent an endless barrage of digital communication loaded with everything from cat videos to dancing cartoons. They flooded the Empire's systems with nonsensical messages, looping earworm jingles, and hilarious animations depicting Empire officials in ridiculously exaggerated situations. The messages disrupted Imperial Command's ability to focus, but worst of all, it made the galactic officials laugh. And in a society that prized order and uniformity above all, laughter was nearly sacrilegious. "We cannot have our officers laughing!" shouted High Minister Tyrak during an emergency meeting. "Laughter distracts from duty." But by then, it was too late. The memes spread through the Empire like wildfire, igniting something strange and alien in the hearts of Imperial citizens, a feeling of joy, of whimsy, of pure, chaotic fun. The citizens, who'd once only known the daily rhythm of disciplined routine, now yearned for more. When the Empire tried to restore order, they discovered Phase 2 of MAD, the bureaucratic overload. Humans were meticulous record keepers, but they also knew the Achilles heel of any bureaucratic empire: too much paperwork. MAD initiated Operation Paperwork Apocalypse, where they unleashed a digital swarm of complex forms that required immediate attention. The forms were nonsensical, demanding data like average giggles per hour and number of tentacles per household. Every Imperial department received thousands of forms per second, each more ludicrous than the last. Desperate to respond, the Empire's officials found themselves locked in an endless cycle of form filling, as any missed paperwork threatened disciplinary action by the Bureau of Compliance. High Minister Tyrak himself was stuck filling out a requisition form to acquire a requisition form for more requisition forms. Meanwhile, the Imperial Senate was introduced to an overwhelming petition, a 12,000-page document authored by humans demanding freedom of personal expression. Senators gawked at the pages filled with creative graffiti, doodles of anthropomorphic animals, and for some reason, a series of increasingly bad puns involving intergalactic politics. Commander Zorg was close to despair. He had no idea how, but the humans were winning, not with lasers or warships, but with chaos. As MAD continued to sow disorder, an unexpected effect swept through the Empire. The rigid, orderly citizens began to change. They started sneaking in human videos during lunch breaks. Some even dared to smile openly, something that had been unheard of within the Empire's borders. The rebellion was subtle at first. Posters of "Free Spirit" and "Embrace Chaos" appeared overnight on buildings. Officers swapped stories of humans who'd once dived into situations without fully understanding them, emerging with nothing but broken bones, bruised egos, and huge smiles. When Zorg found a group of young officers laughing in a corridor, he was horrified. "What is the meaning of this?" he demanded. "Sir," one of the officers said between chuckles, "we've discovered something. They call it stand-up comedy. You've got to hear this bit about a human who tries cooking for the first time." Zorg's tentacles twitched with something he couldn't quite explain. Was it anger? Amusement? Could it be curiosity? Just when Zorg thought he'd seen it all, humanity's final weapon moved into Phase 4, the intergalactic dance-off. This phase was born out of a centuries-old human tradition of battling, through coordinated, expressive movement. The humans unleashed an announcement throughout the Empire. "We, the bringers of chaos, challenge you to the ultimate duel. The only weapon permitted? Dance." To the Empire's horror, many of their own citizens responded enthusiastically, attending the impromptu dance parties that broke out in plazas, spaceports, and even military bases. Soon, Imperial commanders faced a bigger threat than mere disorder. They faced a movement. Citizens began spreading the message. Humanity doesn't fight with violence alone. They fight with rhythm, with joy, with humor. Empire citizens, inspired by the new sense of freedom, demanded an official holiday for the Great Galactic Dance-Off. Meanwhile, Amadi had one last, secret weapon in store: Phase 5. It wasn't just the chaos of humor, paperwork, or dancing. It was humanity's most terrifying trait of all: hope. The humans had planted the seeds of rebellion not just through absurd tactics, but by showing the Empire's citizens the possibility of a life outside of order. As MAD continued to spread, the human influence became a viral resistance. For the first time in eons, citizens questioned the Empire's control. They demanded change, they questioned authority, and they laughed in the face of the strict protocols that once bound them. Commander Zorg stood at his control panel, watching in despair as chaos spread faster than any known virus. "We thought we could conquer them with order," he muttered, almost to himself. "But it was their spirit all along that we couldn't conquer." He reached out and turned off the monitor. Somewhere, deep inside, he knew the truth. the Galactic Empire had not just encountered a new species. They had encountered a way of life, one that could not be controlled, one that thrived on freedom, laughter, and the beautiful unpredictability of chaos. And M80 wasn't about to stop now. Commander Zorg sat silently, digesting the new reality. Humanity's weapon had spread through the Empire like wildfire. His citizens had become unruly, filled with a newfound thirst for freedom, jokes, and unpredictability. The very fabric of the Empire was fraying. But Zorg was determined to wrestle back control. "Summon the High Council," he ordered grimly, his many eyes narrowed. The High Council chamber, usually a place of solemn meetings and strategic decisions, had been decorated overnight with colorful banners, memes, and posters of human motivational slogans like "Live, laugh, love," and "Work hard, play harder." Council members shuffled in, some wearing questionable attire inspired by Earth fashion, including garish sunglasses and headbands that read, "Stay wild." Commander Zorg cleared his throat. "Counselors, we have allowed these ideas to seep too deeply into our society. We are the Galactic Empire. We cannot tolerate dance-offs in military facilities or CAD video screenings during work hours." Counselor Dran 79, who had recently taken a liking to Earth-style headbands, raised a hand. "But Commander, the people are happier. Productivity may have slowed, yes, but morale is at an all-time high. And dare I say, our interdepartmental collaborations have improved through, well, spontaneous karaoke nights." "Karaoke?" Zorg's tentacles twitched in agitation. "That is not how we maintain order." Counselor Dran 79 sighed. "Perhaps it's time we evolve, Commander. Humanity's methods may appear chaotic, but they have united us. The people are enjoying a sense of, dare I say it, purpose. Maybe we need to embrace it, a little." "Embrace it?" Zorg repeated, horrified. He couldn't believe what he was hearing. But just then, the chamber doors flung open, and in strode a figure unlike anything Zorg had ever seen. Tall, with a wild mane of hair, dressed in a patchwork of Galactic Empire officer uniform and Earth-inspired clothing, stood a young recruit, beaming. "Commander Zorg!" the recruit exclaimed. "You're going to want to see this. We're getting a transmission from the humans themselves." The transmission flickered to life in front of the council, revealing a scene that seemed part diplomatic message, part late-night comedy show. A human stood at the center of the screen, waving with a cheerful grin. "Greetings, Galactic Empire!" the human boomed. "We've heard about the excitement happening on your side of the universe, and we wanted to congratulate you on embracing a little humanity." Some council members exchanged confused looks, while others couldn't help but smile. The human continued. "We humans might be a bit unpredictable, sure. Maybe we laugh too much, maybe we throw the occasional party that goes out of control. But there's something important you should know about us. We live to bring joy, to share a good story, to dream bigger than anyone tells us we can. And yes, sometimes we dance through the night, even if it's a Tuesday." As the human spoke, a slideshow of Earth's most chaotic, joyous moments flashed across the screen. Humans laughing, humans dancing, humans flying through space on cobbled-together ships. There was a certain spark, a liveliness that could not be contained by any galactic borders. The human finished with a wink. "So here's the deal. We'll keep sending you our best memes, our most questionable karaoke performances, and of course, all the cat videos you can handle. But there's something we need to let you in on. Humanity's final weapon? It isn't just MAD, it isn't just the memes, it's the simple fact that no matter how hard you try, you'll never fully control us. So what do you say? Embrace the chaos. Let's throw a party the whole galaxy can enjoy." Zorg sat stunned. The High Council was equally speechless. But as they processed the message, a slow, quiet realization dawned on them. The Empire had tried to rule through ironclad control, through protocol and precision. But now, they faced something they had never anticipated, the overwhelming force of humanity's joyful, resilient spirit. The council members began to murmur among themselves. Counselor Dran 79 spoke up again, emboldened. "Commander, if we resist this, we will only drive our citizens further toward rebellion. But if we join them, if we let a little chaos in, we might find that our empire is stronger for it. Perhaps there's something we can learn from these humans." Zorg clenched his tentacles, torn between his deeply ingrained love of order and the reality unfolding before him. "I refuse to believe that we must abandon our principles. We are the Galactic Empire, not a roaming carnival." Counselor Dran 79 smiled softly. "Commander, maybe the key to unity isn't control. Maybe it's letting our people find their own joy. Maybe our empire will be greater if it includes a bit of freedom." After weeks of deliberation, the council agreed to a compromise: a single, galaxy-wide event, an experiment in organized chaos. They would host a galactic cultural exchange, a fancy term for what humanity had proposed as the Great Galactic Dance Party. All species, including humans, would be invited to celebrate, dance, share their culture, and for just one day, live free from the Empire's usual restraints. The announcement of the event spread like wildfire. Planets prepared floats, costumes, and dance routines. Spaceships arrived from every corner of the galaxy, decked out with colorful lights, sound systems, and holographic projectors. For the first time, the galaxy buzzed with anticipation for an event not ordered by the Empire but inspired by the chaos-loving humans. Zorg reluctantly agreed to oversee the event, grumbling as he donned his formal Imperial attire, complete with an uncomfortable-looking feathered cape as suggested by human advisors for style. As the festivities began, the galaxy united in a way Zorg had never thought possible. Beings from across the Empire danced, sang, laughed, and exchanged stories. The citizens of the Empire found themselves befriending humans and other species alike, discovering the beauty of cultures they never had the chance to explore. In a small corner of the massive celebration, Zorg found himself pulled into a human dance circle, bewildered but somehow enjoying himself. A human patted him on the back and shouted, "See, you're getting it, Zorg. It's all about letting loose." Zorg sighed, looking around at the happy, chaotic crowd. He realized he had never seen his citizens so genuinely content. Maybe there was something to this freedom. As the Great Galactic Dance Party reached its peak, Zorg's communicator buzzed with an urgent message from Imperial Command. "Commander Zorg, we've just detected a surge in galactic activity at the Empire's borders," a frantic officer reported. "Unknown ships are gathering. They look hostile." Zorg turned pale, his earlier happiness evaporating. "Is this an invasion?" he demanded. But before he could take action, a voice broke through on the Empire's main transmission line. It was humanity's spokesperson again, looking oddly casual, almost as if he'd been expecting this. "Commander Zorg," the human said with a smirk, "I think it's time you knew. The real final weapon wasn't just memes or dance parties. It was humanity's allies. You see, while we were spreading our chaos, we were also rallying support from species let's just say you've overlooked them in the past." The screen filled with the images of ships, but these weren't just human. They were ships of countless species who had quietly watched the Empire and wished for something different. They'd united, rallying behind humanity's message of freedom, individuality, and yes, chaos. "Commander Zorg," the human continued, "this isn't an invasion. It's an invitation. We're here to build a new galactic order, one where freedom is valued, where cultures flourish, and where joy is celebrated. You can join us, or get left behind." Zorg looked out at the fleet assembled at his borders. He knew his empire couldn't win a war against such a united front. But maybe, just maybe, this wasn't the end of the empire, just a new beginning. Slowly, he extended a tentacle in a gesture of peace. "As the commander of the Galactic Empire, I accept your invitation," he announced. "Together, we will forge a galaxy where all species are free to live as they wish." And with that, the galaxy erupted in cheers. Humanity's final weapon, joy, unity, and a little chaos, had forever changed the galaxy. The Empire had not been destroyed but reborn, stronger than ever, enriched by the diversity, laughter, and freedom it had once feared. As for Zorg, he was last seen attempting his first Earth-style dance move, much to the delight of his new human friends. The galaxy would never be the same again. As Commander Zorg clumsily attempted his first dance move, the galaxy's newfound harmony and diversity transformed the once strict, sterile empire into a vibrant, buzzing network of cultures, traditions, and yes, occasional chaos. The Great Galactic Dance Party had marked the dawn of a new age, but it was only the beginning of humanity's ever-expanding influence. With the end of the party, humanity's representatives found themselves invited to sit among the High Council as official partners. This arrangement, while promising, quickly proved that the road to unity was going to be just as tumultuous as the journey that brought them here. After all, humans had a knack for stirring things up. Commander Zorg soon found himself dealing with a range of peculiar, human-inspired initiatives cropping up throughout the Empire. The latest? Bring your pet to work. Week, which seemed harmless enough, until the pets in question ranged from Earth's fluffy kittens to terrifying alien creatures capable of vaporizing office chairs. One morning, Zorg arrived at the Imperial Council chamber only to find a line of humans and aliens holding an array of animals, from human-sized bugs to something suspiciously like a sentient cactus with attitude. He massaged his forehead with a tentacle, resigning himself to the chaos. "Counselor Dran 79, he said with a sigh, spotting the alien leader sporting a Pause for Peace badge. "How exactly did Bring Your Pet to Work become a mandatory initiative across all council facilities?" Dran 79 grinned. Commander, the humans insisted it would boost morale. Plus, it's a cultural exchange," he said proudly, holding up a tiny wriggling creature with far too many eyes. As if Pet Week hadn't been enough, humanity's next big project involved introducing the galaxy to Earth's cuisine. Naturally, the humans called it the Galactic Food Festival, promising the event would bring species together through shared flavors. A noble cause, to be sure. But the High Council had no idea what they were in for. The opening day of the festival saw a vast, open courtyard filled with culinary stands representing species from every corner of the galaxy. Some stands displayed dishes that looked innocent enough, while others emitted mysterious smokes, glows, and even the occasional hiss. But the biggest draw by far was the human food, which included everything from tacos and sushi to the infamous hot sauce challenge. The event was buzzing, literally, as a food item called carbonated soda caused quite a reaction with some of the more gelatinous alien species. Tentacled beings twitched, floating creatures hiccuped, and one particularly large alien dissolved into a fit of giggles upon trying cotton candy, convinced it was magic. Commander Zorg, reluctantly intrigued by human food, approached a stand labeled Spicy Barbecue. A human cook with a wide grin handed him a small item called a jalapeno popper, encouraging him to try the kick. With a brave grimace, Zorg bit into it. In a split second, his face turned a vibrant shade of green, his tentacles recoiled, and he released a roar that shook the very walls of the festival grounds. Gasps rippled through the crowd before erupting into laughter as Zorg scrambled for a drink, his usual stoicism shattered. The human cook chuckled. "I forgot to mention that humans love a bit of heat in our food." Zorg's attempt to respond was lost in his coughing fit, much to the delight of onlookers. And so, the Galactic Food Festival became yet another chapter in humanity's ongoing series of cultural shocks to the Empire. Following the success, and occasional mishaps, of the food festival, humanity proposed a new idea: galactic holiday celebrations. The idea was simple: each species would share its own holiday traditions, allowing the entire empire to take part in festivities year-round. From solemn ceremonies of peace to celebrations involving fireworks and joyful chaos, the galaxy soon had a holiday for almost every day of the standard cycle. The humans, naturally, contributed their own Earth-based holidays, beginning with one called Halloween. Alien counselors watched with fascination as humans transformed their quarters into haunting spectacles, donned strange costumes, and delighted in trick-or-treating. an activity that apparently involved demanding sweets in exchange for not performing tricks. On Halloween night, Zorg found himself answering a knock at his office door, opening it to find a group of humans in various outlandish outfits, one dressed as a skeleton, another as a Ghostbuster, and, for reasons beyond Zorg's understanding, a third dressed as a cucumber. "Trick or treat!" they chorused. Zorg blinked, utterly lost. "What exactly is a trick, and why would I provide a treat to avoid it?" The human dressed as a cucumber laughed. "Commander, you're supposed to give us candy, or else we'll prank you." Zorg, bewildered but intrigued, handed them the only treat he had on hand, a nutritional cube, standard issue in the Empire. The group exchanged glances, then smiled politely, deciding to spare Zorg from their prank. "We'll, make an exception for you, Commander," said the Ghostbuster, patting Zorg on the shoulder. And so Zorg was spared, but other council members weren't as lucky, as their quarters were soon decorated with webs, glitter, and mysterious sticky notes containing strange human jokes. In the wake of these celebrations, other species began to openly embrace their own cultures within the Empire. Formerly repressed by the Empire's rigid order, different species found inspiration in humanity's zest for life. Races known for their stoicism found themselves drawn to earth music and dance, while others developed a taste for humor, something humans seemed to excel in. But it wasn't long before humanity's influence extended beyond culture. Representatives of planets previously hostile to the Empire began to seek diplomatic relations, fascinated by humanity's resilience and charm. These unexpected alliances bolstered the Empire, transforming what was once a stagnant regime into a vibrant collective. As the months passed, Zorg found himself at the center of a transformed galaxy. The rigid laws of the Empire had softened, replaced by a new respect for individuality and freedom. He'd watched firsthand as the galaxy came alive, bustling with laughter, camaraderie, and curiosity. One evening, Zorg stood at the observation deck of the Imperial Command, gazing out at the stars. Counselor Dren 79 approached him quietly, observing the calm expression on Zorg's face. "Commander, do you regret allowing humanity into our empire?" Zorg let out a deep sigh, his many eyes reflecting the galaxies beyond. "It's strange," he admitted. "At first, I viewed humanity as an infection, a chaotic force that would unravel everything we built. But now, I see them as a cure. They brought a kind of balance we never knew we needed." Dran 79 nodded. "They're unpredictable, yes. They break rules and they question everything, but in that chaos, there's beauty. The galaxy feels alive." Zorg managed a small smile. "Perhaps. Though I will never understand why they insist on singing in public spaces." Dran 79 chuckled. "Maybe we don't need to understand. Maybe we just need to let it happen." And so, the Galactic Empire evolved from a monolithic force into a tapestry of cultures, beliefs, and unexpected joys. Humanity's final weapon, an unbreakable spirit and a love for freedom, had changed the galaxy forever. And though Commander Zorg could still be found grumbling about misplaced cat videos or the latest human prank, deep down, he knew that humanity's chaos had brought peace in a way no empire could have predicted. As the Galactic Empire continued to reel under the tidal wave of humanity's charm, humor, and fearless love for the unpredictable, it became clear that a new age was dawning. Commander Zorg, once the stalwart defender of imperial discipline, found himself swept up in a whirlwind of human-inspired ideas and innovations that were as relentless as they were, strangely, delightful. Humanity's latest endeavor, a galactic talent show, saw representatives from every species showcasing their unique abilities. There were singers with voices that could resonate across light years, dancers whose movements created mesmerizing patterns in zero gravity, and even telepaths who told entire stories through a single, shared thought. Human participants, however, brought their own unorthodox style. A human magician wowed audiences by pulling small, furry creatures from an empty container, while a juggler defied physics by tossing around spheres of plasma, and a stand-up comedian nearly caused a diplomatic incident with a joke about Zorg's tentacles. But the true highlight of the night was a human musician who played a piece called Bohemian Rhapsody. his voice rising in crescendos that left the whole audience silent and teary-eyed, even the stoic Zorg. After the final note, Zorg, moved beyond words, found himself starting the applause. The Empire's neighboring civilizations, once tense and hostile, found themselves charmed by humanity's unexpected warmth. Humanity's approach to diplomacy was a blend of wit, empathy, and sheer audacity that left even the hardest negotiators amused. When a notoriously hostile species known as the Zernians demanded tribute, a human diplomat asked if they'd accept an old Earth custom instead, a gift exchange. Intrigued, the Zernians agreed, only to be handed a replica of Earth's Declaration of Independence with a note that read, "We're more about partnerships than tribute." Amused, and surprisingly touched, the Zernians accepted. The incident made waves across the Empire, and soon, other cultures began softening their stances, curious about this rebellious, warm-hearted species that defied expectations with every step. Despite humanity's growing influence, not all was well in the galaxy. A shadow crept through the edges of known space, where an ancient and forgotten species, the Exonites, stirred from their long slumber. Known for their cold precision and emotionless desire to conquer, the Exonites had once spread terror before being sealed away. But now, after eons of quiet, they sensed weakness in the Empire, perceiving humanity's light-hearted chaos as a sign of fragility. When the first Exonite ship broke through the galactic barriers, its eerie silence sent shivers across the fleet. Cold, efficient, and entirely devoid of emotion, the Exonites communicated only with a singular, chilling message. "Prepare for assimilation." Commander Zorg felt an old dread rise within him. This enemy was unlike any other. They would not be deterred by human quirks or charmed by humor. They sought only order and control. Humanity's light would be crushed by the Exonites' cold. Yet, when Zorg called an emergency council meeting, humanity's representatives arrived wearing expressions he hadn't seen before, determination and a fierce glint of something deeper, something Zorg could only describe as resolve. In the face of the Exonite threat, humanity unveiled a project that had been kept hidden for centuries. Known simply as Project Gaia. It was an initiative that had been developed during humanity's early struggles, a last resort safeguard meant to protect Earth and its allies in the event of an unstoppable threat. Within days, Project Gaia's true nature became clear. It wasn't a single weapon, but a multi-pronged defense protocol, a fleet of hyper-advanced AI-controlled ships, energy shields that could withstand planetary bombardments, and even genetically enhanced soldiers trained to fight with a ferocity that could terrify even the most hardened warriors. But the most formidable part of Project Gaia was the ship Odyssey, an ancient dreadnought hidden for centuries in the asteroid belt. It was capable of self-repair, interdimensional travel, and wielded a weapon powered by humanity's own boundless curiosity, a graviton cannon that could bend space itself. When the Odyssey activated, it emitted a hum that seemed to resonate through the cosmos, a haunting melody that spoke of humanity's fierce will to protect their own. As the Exonite fleet descended upon the Empire's borders, humanity and the allied species gathered to defend the galaxy. Commander Zorg, now a trusted ally to humanity, stood at the helm alongside a human captain named Reed. "Think you're ready for this, Zorg?" Captain Reed asked with a grin. Zorg glanced at the armada around him, each ship brimming with a unique purpose, an embodiment of humanity's chaotic resilience. For once, Zorg felt an odd calm wash over him. "With you humans, Reed, I've come to expect the unexpected." As the Exonites approached, a hush fell over the combined fleet. The Exonite ships moved in perfect, eerie synchronization, their gleaming surfaces reflecting the cold void of space. They halted just beyond the range of the Odyssey. A communication came through. "Surrender. You are incompatible with our order." Captain Reed chuckled. "Zorg, I believe it's time to teach them a thing or two about our order." With a nod, Zorg relayed the command. The fleet erupted into motion, each ship following its own unique pattern, moving with a controlled chaos that seemed unpredictable to the Exonites. As human ships launched attacks, alien ships darted in to reinforce them, while the Odyssey itself charged its graviton cannon, a swirling vortex of energy illuminating the void. The Exonites attempted to adapt, but they couldn't keep up with the ever-shifting tactics. Humanity had mastered a kind of war that went beyond strategy, a fusion of intuition, courage, and unpredictability that the Exonites couldn't calculate. Finally, the Odyssey fired. A massive wave of gravitational energy shot toward the heart of the Exonite fleet, bending space itself around them. Exonite ships imploded, torn apart by the very fabric of the universe. As the last of the Exonites disintegrated, the Allied fleet erupted in cheers. Humanity's final weapon, its unbreakable will and capacity for resilience, had saved the galaxy from a threat no one else could have withstood. Back on the Imperial capital, a ceremony was held to honor the unity of the galaxy and humanity's contribution. Commander Zorg stood alongside Captain Reed, his respect for humanity forever changed. In his address, Zorg spoke with pride. The galaxy once knew humans as bringers of chaos, but today, we know them as bringers of hope. They taught us that strength lies not in order, but in courage, friendship, and the willingness to face the unknown. Humanity's influence had forever altered the Empire, transforming it into a beacon of unity, understanding, and hope. And as Zorg looked out at the gathering of species, he knew that the galaxy had been given a new life, a life infused with the very chaos that had once terrified him. It was a new age, a brighter age, and one that the galaxy would face together.